Hello and welcome to another Imperator Rome Developer Diary. Now, it was rumoured in various places that after my last video on Imperator Rome that I was going to basically not cover Imperator Rome anymore. I was very disappointed with the previous dev diary. I would say that I'm not broken on Imperator Rome, certainly not. I was deflated. But I am pleased to announce that this dev diary here has certainly re-inflated me. Let's put it that way. Arheo wrote on Twitter yesterday that that people should expect some big important news in today's dev diary, and I was initially a little bit worried because when the previous dev diary came out about what Vitruvius actually was all about, there was a lot of hype generated by the developers saying it is unprecedented, and that led to a build-up of hype that was not fulfilled. There was no satisfying conclusion to the build-up. It's like listening to dubstep and there's no drop, right? It's just there's not that kick. I don't even listen to dubstep. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Whatever. This dev diary has a kick. This dev diary definitely has the drop. It's reinflated me. So how about we just dive in and I can stop rambling about nonsense. Salvet Omnes. This one is written by Arheo. He has not put the date, therefore we can't criticize him on the date. So that's fair. That's fair. It's good. It's good. It has been a while since you heard from me or the Stockholm team, so I'm here today to do a few things. Firstly, there's a few points of confusion to clear up. A team down at Thoracic began working on Imperator earlier this year, onboarding and getting accustomed to the game and the codebase. Their first feature, Great Wonders, was created in parallel while the Stockholm team produced the 1.5 update, which is currently in your hands. This has worked quite nicely. However, having two studios working on parallel tracks made it difficult to produce the kind of interconnected material that makes Imperator unique. Over the last several months, we've begun integrating and onboarding the talented folk of Thoracic into our workflow in order to enable the production of more integrated features and content, which you'll discover very shortly. I think this is actually a bigger problem than they realize. I think what Thoracic has done with this customizable Great Wonders, I still don't think it's a positive change. I still don't like the idea of being able to create a wooden replica of the Library of Alexandria or the Pharaoh's Lighthouse in Cornwall. I don't like it still. If it was interconnected, if they were, in the same studio, then maybe this whole customizable Great Works thing could have been customizable, personalizable holy sites. And that would have been pretty cool. That would have been absolutely fine. I would still say shy away from adding, you can put a Pharaoh's Lighthouse piece in your build. I'd shy away from that because that is taking away from how that lighthouse was special. But, being able to customize the exterior or the interior so you could see your holy sites on the map, that would be pretty cool. I'd like that. What they've got right now, I'm still just not a fan of at all. But anyway, our last dev diaries were intended to give Thoracic a platform to show off what they've created without flipping back and forth between the two teams. Following on from this, I'd like to clarify that the next update you will receive will contain, but not limited to, the Vitruvius update. Working with a second studio is quite new for us, and we wanted to give the Great Wonders feature and update to have a unique codename. In this case, it's not tied to a specific and limited release. In this case, it will be released alongside our next major update. So basically, Great Wonders is going, and Vitruvius in general is sort of like a parallel thing that's going to slowly be integrated, and it's going to continue being worked on after Vitruvius has been, in the pushed out build, as far as I understand it. Maybe, like I say, I'm not too familiar with the way that their numbering system and all that works, so it might be the best way to do things. I don't know. But anyway. The last point of order I have here comes with a side note, namely that you'll be waiting a little longer than usual for the next content update for Imperator. which is sad. It is sad. A lot of people have been complaining that this Great Wonders feature is what has pushed back the update for Imperator, the Autumn of War. People saying that maybe it's going to be the Winter of War, or just be called the Season of War, instead of, coming out in autumn, which is rapidly coming to a close. It also depends on what you consider autumn. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're not going to hit autumn for another 6 months or so. So, I don't know. It's a social construct, autumn. It's not determined by the stars, so who knows when it really starts. I certainly couldn't put a date to it. I always thought it started in August, because the AU is similar, but apparently it doesn't. But why? Anyway, why is this going to be held back a bit? Well, this was hinted at a little bit with the unprecedented scope of the upcoming release was mentioned in the last dev diary. Yeah, I read this as poking fun at the previous dev diary as being called unprecedented. I don't think this is how it was written, but it's how I read it. Because Great Wonders, they're really not unprecedented, and yeah, that was a really bad choice of words on their part. The scope and quantity of features coming in the next release is of such gravitas that we're changing the version number to adequately portray what this represents for Imperator. As such, I can now introduce the 2.0 Marius update. Right, so leaving behind Great Wonders, leaving behind Thoracic, Stockholm has been working on 2.0, Imperator 2.0. Which in itself is pretty exciting, and I am pretty excited about it. It does mean I'm going to need a new thumbnail, so I'm sorry, wife, I love you, can I have a new thumbnail, please? Which, honestly, if you're watching this, you'll have already seen the new thumbnail. I'm sure she did a great job. Right now, it's not created yet. I think she's working on it right now. So, yes. 2.0, is this hubris? Well, no, I don't think so. At this stage, I can only comment to a broad overview of some of the things we intend to cover with this update, though I would urge you to make up your own minds after reading the following. My overarching directives for 2.0 are pacing, warfare, and user experience. Now, let's see what he has to say about these, and then I guess I'll give my opinion. So, pacing. I want to achieve a more consistent and choice-based progression to the flow of the game. As of right now, much of what the game offers you is available to you from the very beginning, and there are fewer ways to customize your playstyle than I would like. We'll be looking at overhauling the invention system and the military tradition system, two systems that have been widely criticized since, like, the beginning of Imperator. So, that's looking real promising, not gonna lie. I really want to see what your ideas are for how you would overhaul this. I know personally that the invention system that was introduced in the Bronze Age mod, I think, is absolutely sublime, and if Arheo could take a long, hard look at what they've done in that mod, I think that would definitely be to its benefit. Even if it didn't just like wholesale copy it and did its own thing, just looking at what they've done and the ideas that they had, I think it'd be a really positive thing. So yeah, invention system and the military tradition system in order to effect a more intuitive system of progression that allows for a sense of advancement and identity to develop over the course of the game. So yeah, this identity developing, so the nation that you start a game with won't be this, it won't be identical to what you end with. It won't just be a flat linear, oh, I've progressed this many levels and I've taken this many techs that are basically, for the most part, just modifiers on what I already have. Being able to unlock new abilities, perhaps, would be something that inventions could look into. I know that some military traditions do unlock abilities, like the military colony. For Romans, you can build roads with military traditions, that kind of thing. So I think improving and furthering that kind of area would be really, really positive. This doesn't solely mean gating existing mechanics. However, this will also tie strongly into new features and additions coming in 2.0. You can't tease us like this. What new features? What additions? I need to know. Tell me, please. I need it. Oh, okay. Warfare. It is the autumn of war. Warfare is a big part of it, I hope. It's a pretty big one. There we go. I've never been happy with the military recruitment and army mechanics being almost entirely divorced from historical reality and being largely set apart from the many other systems in our game. Agree. Hard, solid, agree. Yes. Military recruitment, I mean, for the most part, armies or nations didn't have large standing armies sitting around drilling like permanently unless they were at war, or building roads all over the place, or, you know, being a governor's personal guard to lower, you know, unrest. That was not a thing, but in Imperator that is the way it works. So, you know, being able to fix that kind of historical discrepancy would be pretty welcome. It is very divorced from historical reality for sure. Army mechanics. I'm hoping this means that how they fight. I'd like to believe so. It's separate from recruitment. The army mechanics, like what mechanics are there? Your tactics certainly is pretty divorced from historical reality. You didn't choose a tactic and then, you know, oh, I've got a better general. All of a sudden, the entire army shifts tactics, and that's totally fine. Yeah, there needs to be some kind of change there. So it's very positive, I think, that he has located this as a problem that needs fixing. Our main military focus for 2.0 will be on tying the recruitment systems to the rest of our simulation, as well as adding a much larger recognition for the cultural diversity of military forces in different parts of the map. Oh my god, yes, please. All right, big example of, you know, cultural diversity in military forces. You think of the Roman military during the Roman Republic era. You had your big blocks of heavy infantry, your Principe, your Hastati, your Triaria, you know, your triplex axes. The Romans were the infantry. They were good at infantry. Romans were the best infantry, alright? They were not, however, very good with cavalry. So what did they do for the cavalry? They had their allies, the Socii. They used allied cavalry in their armies for centuries, until they got their own, you know, cavalry kind of thing started. Things like the Tarentine cavalry from the south of Italy. That kind of thing is something that, you know, really isn't represented all that well in Imperator. There's, you know, if you might have a mission or such that gives you a modifier for Tarentine cavalry, and that maybe lasts a few years, where you've got a modifier of more discipline or damage output or whatever on your cavalry. But you don't have to recruit those cavalry in Tarentum. You can recruit them in fucking Greece or in Rome or in Gaul, and they would have this Tarentine cavalry modifier, because your units just aren't culturally relevant. They're just your units, regardless of where they're from. Fixing that would be a real big bonus as well. So yeah, again, recognizing that there is an issue is a positive step right now, because obviously they're not going to show all of the various systems. This is an overarching view and where he's coming from with what he sees as the issues. Locating that as an issue, really good, really, really good. So, several astute forum users have noticed that we're going to be removing Raise Levy's unit ability. Yeah, somebody had made a post about what they would do instead of Raise Levies, or how they would change this mechanic, and Arheo commented that's not going to be relevant in the next update. So, yeah, Raise Levy's getting changed. I'll leave you to ponder over how that might be related. Please make it related to the pops. Just make armies relevant to pops. Always just tie everything to pops, because pops are the building blocks of your empire. It should be the building blocks of everything, right? Everything should tie back to pops or characters, and characters and pops should relate together as well. That's my thoughts on it. There are, of course, many additional improvements coming to the warfare aspect of the game, from forts and sieges to war goals and cohorts. Just more improve everything. Like, this is looking like a Cicero level update. If all of these promises are fulfilled, this is a Cicero level update. So, user experience, and this is the juicy bit, because we've got screenshots, as you can sort of see on the bottom there. And then there's this. This is something we've been keeping under wraps for a while now, which has been the sole focus of Jiroro, our UX designer, since she joined the team. Many of you have expressed a desire to work on the UI, yeah, and this is something we've heard. In the Marius update, we'll be focusing greatly on improving the user experience on an interface level, as well as including a completely new art style. What? Since when do you just like change an art style of a game mid-life? That's unprecedented, I'll give you that much, damn. Since it'll be entirely impossible to avoid showing any features off without teasing the UI rework, here's some in-progress shots of the state of things on our highly experimental branches. Please give me access to those experimental branches, I beg you, please. Oh, I want it so bad. I will sign any NDA. Just I will put my signature on any piece of paper you give me. Just give me access to this. The bright visual identity of Imperator was tied to too many periphery elements, so branding, key art, etc., to change at this stage. And honestly, I kinda like it. I know there is a lot of people who have a lot of problems with how bright Imperator is. They don't like the white marble, because historically, you know, marble statues in this era were painted. That's true. I accept this as a fact. However, I don't care. I don't care because when you talk to a random Joe, right, and you ask him what do the fucking statues look like in Rome, he'll say white. It is the public consciousness has these Roman and Greek statues as white, and honestly, every single reconstruction of how they would look when painted looks garish and awful, and I would hate to see that in the game. I do like CK3's dark style, though. That is damn sexy. I would accept that. But yeah, I'm not unhappy with, you know, white marble. I'm just not. I kind of like it. That black marble mod that came out, I really didn't like. I think that looked pretty bad. So yeah, it's all about where the elements on the UI are rather than the color of the UI that matters to me. Anyway, it's something that we intend to work with and refine going forwards. We'll be preserving the lighter style in contrast to some of our sister titles such as CK3, which opted for a darker approach. I wanted a bold style, dropping a lot of the unnecessary cornels and border decorations that took up a significant quantity of screen real estate. You'll notice we still have decoration. This is used more carefully and serves a purpose of its own, to draw attention or indicate the relative importance of an interface, or to create a feeling of immersion with pictures and scenes. A significant directive I pressed home is to bring out the importance of characters. No more beige backgrounds, more breathing room, additional usability functions, so character search, yes please, and a suite of backgrounds intended to give characters a little more life. Oh, you're hitting all the right buttons, my dude. So good, so good. Part of the behind-the-scenes advantages of this overhaul is also to support easier modding, color switching, and the potential for culturally thematic UI themes, though with the scope of 2.0, it should be said that we will not be adding any of this in the immediate future. So, right. Cultural thematic UI, like CK2, and how a lot of people still want CK3 to be. Like, it has dropped the cultural differences between the UI elements. So, you know, the Norse Viking tribal people always had this wooden style. The Muslims always had this jade kind of style with lots of like angles and stuff, and then the Christians had like kind of a linen tapestry kind of style, I guess. So yeah, interesting that Imperator is going to bring that kind of cultural diversity to the UI. It's interesting. I like the idea of it. Better support for modding. Always gonna like be totally on board with that. Agama Day's UI improvement mod is a must-have for me every time I play something that isn't in Iron Man mode. Whenever I'm not chasing an achievement, that mod is on 100% of the time because it's so needed. Yeah, so good stuff. It's incredibly important that you're aware that the art and user experience overhaul is not complete, and even things which look overhauled or reskinned may well not yet be finished. Noti bene, all screenshots are provided at our minimum supported resolution of 1920 by 1080. And there it is. There is the new UI. I am a fan. I really am a fan. I like it. So let's make it big and we'll have a look at what we can see here. So, on the top bar, we are now completely divorced from these really awkward, ugly circle buttons that you really had to... Oh, which one's the character again? Click, 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 click. Oh, there it is. Found it. They weren't good. They really weren't good. But this, I mean, they're all gone now from the top. They're not there. They're now on the side down here. I think that is much, much better. So we've got our buttons on the side now, and you can see, I'd say maybe they aren't 100% knowable from a glance at what most of them are. Like, I can make a solid guess at most. This is your money, diplomacy, perhaps. Not really sure on this one. Religion, culture, trade goods, military, something. This could also be diplomacy, the thing, and characters, maybe. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's going to take a while for me to get used to them, but I'm sure that when I do get used to them, it's going to be like second nature. We've got the characters on their own little screen with art behind them. Yes, like, of course, why not? That's beautiful. It's awesome. I think we did get very spoiled by CK3 having the 3D characters. I don't think that's ever going to happen with Imperator. It's far too late to import that whole character system. But for static characters, this is looking way, way better. Also, just like the backdrop is just fucking gorgeous. If you have... You're gonna need to have a lot of these. I think all of the special, like, known characters, like Antigonus, Cassander, Lysimachus, Seleucus, they all need to have unique backdrops that only they have, only them. No one else would share it. Right? Their children could have the same backdrop, but only the heir, maybe. That needs to be a thing. As for other characters, there needs to be at least one per culture, I'd say, just to give a bit of diversity to what you're looking at. Like, it would look very odd if you click on, you know, the leader of Aeduia, and he has this throne that he's sitting on, and then you click on Getty and he's sitting on the same throne. I think it would look very awkward and off. I will say immediately, it looks like at the moment, Antigonus and the rest of the Diadochi here, they have the same backdrop. I really hope that changes. Having them all have the exact same backdrop would be not good. I don't think that would be good at all. I think they need to have individual backdrops. But otherwise, I'm in favor. Like, it looks like this certainly fits the Phrygians, because the Antigonids, because, you know, Antigonid flag, yellow and red. The backdrop of him, yellow and red. It doesn't really fit Seleucus, who should be blue, and Lysimachus, who's green, and Cassander, who's also blue. It doesn't really fit these guys. So I really hope that we do get more artwork and, you know, more backdrops. And I know for a fact that if they don't do it, firstly, there's going to be a lot of complaints about it. Secondly, there's going to be a mod, regardless of whether they've got a ton or only one. There's going to be a mod that adds a ton of them that are probably all copyrighted, but it doesn't matter because it's a mod. It should matter, but let's be fair, it doesn't matter. But yeah, everything else that we see here, we've got family and relationships all on its own little page here down the bottom. We've got the statesmanship. This one's health. I still don't like this. I don't want to know 100%, 1%. I don't like this at all. As a mechanic, I would much, much prefer the CK3 system where we get a heart, we hover over it, they're ailing, or their health is poor, their health is fucking amazing, that kind of thing. Very obfuscated health. Oh, please. As I'm looking at Antigonus from an Antigonid perspective, then it's fine that I know how much cash he has, how much manpower he has. Manpower's not here anymore. It was here. Actually, this would be personal wealth, so I guess that's fine. What I'm worried about is we're still going to have the same situation we have now. When we look at another country, we can see how much manpower and money they have. I don't want to see that either. I think that's a really bad move on the game's part. But yeah, this is looking really nice. Other things we can see here. Little banners for these looking awesome, and they're not going to be like flying off the end of the screen anymore because there's way more real estate for them. Fantastic. One of the big things that was pointed out by someone in my Discord is that we have this little button here that's hidden. When I've got my mouse on this screen, it's a little bit hidden. But doesn't that look like a speech bubble right here? Doesn't that speech bubble kind of say that maybe we're finally getting that multiplayer chat? Is that, because that's kind of what it says to me, and I really hope that that's the case. I really, really, really do. But yeah, that's looking good. There is no more map. There was a tweet a few days ago by Arheo asking how many people actually use the map. I think he had a poll about it as well. Yes, there was a poll. Who uses the Imperator minimap? 55% of people said no. 45% of people did say yes, but I mean, they're lying, because like, what do you actually use the map for in Imperator right now? Do you move your map around with it? No, you don't. It doesn't show any dots on the map for where friendly and hostile units are. It's kind of useless, so they've completely gotten rid of it. I'm totally fine with that. There is a lot of space for buttons here. There is, 22 buttons that are possible now. And as you can see, culture, religion, fucking diplomat, what's it called? The political map mode. So either this is a bit of a hint that we're going to get way more map modes and we can see them all, or something along those lines. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of this. Of course, we've got Great Wonders on the map, the outliner as well. The outliner is looking really nice with a bit of like solid artwork there, a little bit of like leaves and shit coming off it. Oh, it's so good, so good. I love this. This is looking way nicer. All right, let's move on. Spent a long time on that. The work in progress character window. This is one of our larger standard windows in the new UI. We want to give characters a great deal more space and personality by doing away with the beige backgrounds and instead inserting a more immersive background selection system. You can also see the top bar has been moved to the side to accommodate more usable screen real estate. Future plans inspired by some of the popular user mods, such as the Better UI mod by Gamade. I absolutely love that they have given him a shout out, because he deserves it. He really does. His mod is amazing. It's a must have for me. Again, anytime that I'm not doing an achievement run, this mod is on, because it's fantastic. He's a fantastic modder. Are to include balance indicators on top bar resources. So basically what this means is you'll see, instead of just seeing this little minus and you're at 482, it would be 482 and then it'd say last month you got -3 or whatever, something like that. Same with manpower, same with political influence, same with military experience, etc. You would see how much it goes up or down. That's how that, what he's talking about there. As well as showing additional contextual information in the top bar. Yeah, so there's a lot that Agamade's mod adds, and I would recommend you all go and have a look at it, because it's amazing. All right, moving on to this one. We have here. Is this nested tooltips? Is this nested? I think this is nested tooltips. While function definitely takes precedence over form, it became apparent that we had more space to work with in our newer style, including larger set pieces that adds a lot to feeling of immersion when using the UI. The astute amongst you will notice that we have a new tooltip system. The recent release of CK3 has enabled us to make use of a more intuitive nested tooltip technology. Oh, so good, so good. So we've got our Archie Grammaticus here. something with anointing as well. This is the line of succession in the Antigonid Kingdom, and you can anoint, I guess, to say, okay, you are the next one in line, perhaps. I don't believe that's in currently, and if you hover over him, it'll show up his character window, which is really cool. He's got just a standard, grassy fields, Windows, XP user, the background thing. So I guess if you're not a special character and have something fucking super cool, you're going to have something kind of generic. They got mountains here as well. Lots of these guys got just like the standard hills. But yeah, that nested tooltips, totally on board with that. That's cool. Having some more artwork here, that's a really good idea. Yeah, no, totally a fan. Totally a fan. Having these 3 buttons up here is a little odd. I guess this icon is a stand-in for something, because isn't this where you chose like decisions and government? I think that's what it is. So the August Reign. What's the August Reign? It's cool. His Serene Consort Stratonica. Okay, I like it. This is looking really cool. I love it. I love it. All right, moving on to the government screen, and just how amazing now the Senate looks. It's way nicer. It actually looks like Senate seats. I kind of think it would be a little bit cool if they like wrapped around the bottom. I think that would be kind of awesome, but you know what? I'm totally a fan of how this looks as well. I couldn't resist the opportunity to make the Senate feel more alive. It does. It absolutely does. We can see it side by side here. The old Senate and the new Senate. This takes up way less space. I would argue it has just as much information. It looks cooler. It's got its own artwork, two whole pieces of artwork. I think this is really cool. I like it a lot. And you can see that it'd be nice if they'd chosen characters where this guy was offering his stats, so you could see, that maybe this 9 was actually coming from the co-console and it'd be over here, something like that. But yeah, this is a big improvement. So I'm a fan. So this is what the Romans get. It looks like some Senate steps, whereas the Antagonists have this throne room. Makes sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. As you can see, we're working a lot to reduce the size and visual clutter of game interfaces. Yeah, I mean, the amount that this has been reduced, like, it's very impressive. The amount they've managed to squeeze, and lose really nothing. Right. Of course, it's not possible everywhere. The distinction between windows you'll likely need when using the map and otherwise has been accentuated. You may also notice a few additional tidbits here. So yeah, we've got a new, like I said, this character's on family screen. You can't really squeeze this too much because there's information that needs to be seen. I do think there is some squeezing possible here. Like there's a whole lot of wasted space up here. So you could have, Virginia Olia and have her stats be shown like, military, civic, oratory, zeal. Right, that could be much more compact, and it would allow you to also have a combined score, perhaps. A combined, all of your stats together is this. Although that is less relevant now that you don't need to choose a specific person when you're influencing. As for the new additional tidbits, we have the search bar. You can see if they're employed. You've got your selections, your filters, if they're adults or not. That's nice. If they're a commander or not, if they're a governor or not. That's really some awesome shit there. You can search by your own nation, your governor, and then sort by loyalty, seeing the loyalty of all of your governors. That's invaluable. Absolutely invaluable. So nice. So nice. I love that. That is, it goes without saying that I'm a fan of how that works. You see some more of the backgrounds. Instead of that beige, we now have some, some color behind them. So yeah, totally a fan of that. You can also see that, like a Gamma Days mod had their name be, backgrounded by the color of the family. Now we've got this little line on it to show that they're colors. So the Claudii have this yellow family banner, the Fabii have the blue family banner, the Cornelii have red family banner, etc. It's good. I do still kind of think I prefer Agamede's solution. It's a lot more clear at a glance, for example, what family they are from. But, you know, this is still a big improvement, and I don't have to say, oh yeah, oh, the Cornelii, oh, you're also of the oh no, you're Claudii, you're not Cornelia at all, okay, there's no Claudii, etc., etc., you know, it's better, it's not perfect, but it's better. And then we've got the main menu screen, which is completely different, and looks way nicer as well. Yes, I'll take some of that, thank you very much. I'll definitely take that. And great wonders there. Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus. So Rome starts with one, of course. I don't think there's anything else that we can point out here other than just, you know, where everything is and, you know, how it looks much better. This looks really, really cool. I like it. That's very, very stylish. Nice. And then widely regarded as one of our most confusing windows, we've done a lot of work on the territory window to add some breathing room to information. So he's not showing us the province one, so we can't see the trade goods, which is kind of like what I really want to see. But yeah, now you can see you've got your noble citizens, freemen, slaves and tribesmen. You've got a little bit of artwork behind each of them. You can see, you know, what the terrain is like on that territory, whether it's got a city, I think maybe this is. So that's all looking nice. A summary of what you've got, and it's, you know, that's really well laid out compared to what we have currently. That's much improved. That is much improved. I do want to see this though. I want to see the province view because this is important to me. This is very, very important to me. I want to see breakdowns of pops. You know, a pie chart is all well and good, but give me a percentage. Show me the percent of pops that are of my culture or my integrated cultures. Show me a percentage of pops that are of my religion, etc. That's important. The trade goods as well, that's important. Basically, just look at what Agamede has done and then just like that, please. Moving on, we've got some more here. There is, of course, much more to show here. Next week, Jijiroro will take a long dive into the reasoning and specifics behind the UI rework. Right, so what we see here, this is, yeah, just a side-by-side of the old province view to the new one, and I don't think it is at all arguable here that this one is better in every way. It is more compact. Instead of, you know, I've got to build a settlement building. I can see all of them here, but if I want to build something, I have to open this menu, which opens a huge old thing here. But now it looks like it's going to be, you want to build something, you click this button, and then you've got it all here, and it'll look cool. I'm totally happy with this rework. This looks so much nicer. So much nicer. As always, I look forward to hearing your comments. All right, well, my comment was first. My oh my, this is a bit 180 from last week now, ain't it? Yeah, it totally is. It's a massive 180 because, well, this one has me the big hype, and the last one had me the big deflate. Let's see if there are any dev responses that I haven't seen yet. Oh god, such a good rework. So good. I play on 1080p myself, but wanted to ask, wasn't the current and older patches support lower resolutions, or the minimum resolution has always been 1080p? If this is when he's talking about, you know, all our screenshots are shown in the minimum resolution. Our minimum resolution, our minimum supported resolution will remain unchanged at 920 by 1080. It's probably still possible to play at lower resolutions with significant UI scaling, but funkiness may be encountered, and that's always been the case. Yeah, that's fair. I guess when you have a smaller screen, you use the UI scaling, some things may drop off the screen or be far too large in the screen, etc. Yeah, it has always been the case. How about the outliner? Will it be possible to see more info without scrolling? We'll see. The outliner is only reskinned at this stage. I'm specifically intending to look at further improvements to it as time goes on. What would I have in the outliner? I haven't really got any problems with it per se, because I don't show... I choose to not show building construction and unit construction, which is a big part of how the outliner gets really, really big. Yeah, I don't know what I would change there, to be honest. I guess neither does he, because he's going to look into it. I still hope to see a dark mode in IR. There'll be a mod for it. I'm not a developer. Wouldn't just add a filter to decrease the brightness? No, that's no. No. Not really. There's a bunch of other considerations like brightening text appropriately to account, making sure details of the right contrast, etc. Yeah, it's not feasible. My reaction when reading this dev diary: informative like love. The only complaint is that those dark cyan alert tabs seem to sometimes melt too much into the map, especially over water. And he's talking about these here. I suppose that's fair. Do we have any pictures of them over water? I don't really agree with that, to be honest. I don't agree with that. I think that's kind of fine. Good feedback. We've had similar comments in testing. Likely take another pass on these. It's fair enough then. Vitruvius comes inside Marius. Excuse me? Yeah, that's probably wanting to be reformulated, because that... Yeah, okay, moving on. After 5 minutes, I'm kind of like the UX design. My concerns after those 5 minutes are the following. Aren't we losing first sight information on the territory window? No, we're not. What information are we actually missing? On the aesthetic side, when the background is close to the portraits, it feels weird, rooms or a Senate. In my honest opinion, it looks better with the faraway landscapes. I guess there is the case of lighting. Like, the characters don't have the same lighting as the background, which is a bit awkward, especially if there's like a fire in the background. It doesn't really show on the character, which is a bit dissonant. I still think that, having a throne room is still kind of cool. You just need to figure a way to change the character's portrait dynamically to kind of account for the new the background. Partially, there are groupings for tabbed information. It's such that you're performing an action, which is often repetitive, such as building as much of the relevant information as possible is visible to you and persists if you switch territory, like keeping buildings tabs open, for example. Yeah, that is true. So you're missing out on seeing your buildings here because you're looking at your pops instead, which is fair. But I'm okay with that still. I don't care. And then on the aesthetic side, likewise, information that you're likely to care about when at war, forts, supply, etc., is grouped in the tactical tab. The summary section and the tab headers give you enough to get a good first glance without diving into specifics. The simple fact of the matter is that there was just too much information in the vanilla territory UI. There wasn't a workable solution that didn't involve vast windows or cramped info dumping. Alright, so I need to say something right here, because this I don't think is mentioned anywhere. There is a buildings tab that we can see right here, and he has just said that there is a tactics tab. This must be this one. He has also said that in the tactics tab is where forts are located. So are forts no longer a building? And if not, thank you. Oh my god, that's way better. Is that what we're supposed to glean from this? Because he's just said right here, information you're likely to care about when at war, forts, is grouped in the tactical tab, not the building tab. Is this a hint? Have I discovered something? Oh, hello there. I'm very, very pleased to see this one. If I have actually gleaned something from this, oh, yes. The summary section of the tab header give you enough to get a good first glance without diving into specifics. Yeah, no, I hope that's the case. Oh my god, imagine. Keeping the X's coming, boys. Negative opinions are still valid opinions. God forbid someone doesn't fanboy over everything posted. Can give detailed feedback since UX is my pastime. Do it then. Just do it then. Criticism is welcome, though I'd suggest that just a thumbs down will not result in any meaningful change. It won't result in any change, let's be fair. I noticed the unit banners on the map look frayed at the end. Is this purely an aesthetic thing, or does the fraying portray information like armies being damaged? It does portray something, though I won't tell you what just yet. Oh, I need to go up and see. I need to go up and see. Where's an army? Is it an army banner on the map? Here. There's no fraying there. Oh, hello. Look at that. That's not fraying, though. We need to zoom. We need to zoom. Oh, there's not much of a zoom possible. That doesn't look like fraying. That looks like a person with some spears and such. That's not frayed. And they're all identical, and they're all at I imagine, full strength because it is, 1st of October 450. What does that mean? What does it mean, though? What does it mean? It means something. It means something. We need to glean what this means. It is very well observed. Will these amazing happiness bars make a comeback? I swear this was the best edition in a long time. I love them. Would be disappointed if they just disappear. Yes. Cool. I would add another improvement, which can be easily done. If you look at the first picture of the dev diary, I would encourage the model of Antigonus. I would enlarge them. Yeah, it's the character screen appears too small on a window about him. If you look at the picture, you also notice that there's enough space at the top and to the right to enlarge the character model without hiding anything important in the background. Something we've been wrestling for a long time. Turns out that colossal Persian hats cause problems. But fuck the hats. Have them drop off the side of the screen. I don't care. Make them bigger. I agree with Decius. I really don't like that you've removed the minimap. I don't care. I don't care. You're wrong. You don't care. It's just minimized. Oh, damn it. Well, I mean, that's fair. Then you've got an option for having the minimap. You've written a whole bunch here about removing the minimap. I don't care. It's not gone. It's just minimized. So stop whinging. I still don't care. What's the diagonal color coding on the characters? Great family. Yep, noticed that already. Who was Marius? Marius was the guy fighting against Sulla. Gaius Marius, who lent his name to the sweeping series of reforms which the Romans modernized their army's tactical organization and recruitment system. Yep, the Marian reforms. We thought it appropriate for an update in which military matters take a prominent role. More on this in future dev diary. Yeah, he's also the guy that fought against Sulla. I'm definitely in the Thai UI color to country color bandwagon, even without accounting for different tones. Don't know if it's technically possible though. I tried this, it's technically possible, but it's only consistently possible when there's one primary UI color. With more than this, you end up needing to recolor other elements based on the primary color, which is a non-trivial thing to do in a satisfactory manner. Might include the color function at release if anyone feels like playing with it in mods though. That's nice. Don't most countries also have a secondary color? You could potentially recolor the secondary UI elements with that secondary color. Yes and yes, it looks awful. Nice. Is there a reason for the map modes on the bottom right to be spaced out the way they are? Hidden message teasing us with unmentioned map modes, or just coincidence? Yeah, I imagine we're going to get more map modes, but he hasn't shown them yet. Neat, much needed. Are you going all the way with this? Tooltips within tooltips within tooltips. Information about scoped assets made available, nested right at the source. Nested tooltips, yes. Callbacks with specific info in many cases, so it's unlikely to be as totally integrated as in CK3. An awful lot of text and time goes into these. Huh. That is one of the best dev diaries that they have ever released for Imperator. And yeah, there's way more space available here. And yeah, if the Phrygian hats drop off the side, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I don't care. These guys being bigger would be certainly a big improvement. But yeah, that is the dev diary. My god, that is a chunk of a dev diary. It is one of the best dev diaries for Imperator that we've had in a very, very long time. The last time I was this excited over an update to Imperator, it wasn't in a dev diary that we learned about it. It was in one of the teaser posts from Johan that wasn't technically a dev diary. He was just teasing Cicero with stuff. Yeah, this is one of the good ones, and I'm so happy to see all of these changes. They are, yeah, I am reinflated, and I hope you guys are too. How about you leave your comments in the comment section below and let me know what you think of the Marian update so far. Are you excited? Are you reinflated as I am? Let me know your comments in the comment section below. If you would like to give a like as well, if you liked the video, then feel free to do so. If you want to support me further, I also have a Patreon page. There's a link in the description. But anyway, that is the Marian dev diary, the first one. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you'll stick with me, and we'll find out more about Marian updates in the next weeks coming forward. Oh, I'm so excited! I'm very, very happy with this. Yeah, it's good shit. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.